The first time I met my husband, David's mother, she looked at me like I was a goat that had stolen her last yam. Her name was Esther. She was kind to everyone else, but her eyes were full of suspicion when they looked at me. David told me his mother was a wise woman and the heart of their village. But the woman I met was a soldier, and I was her enemy. David and I were young and loved each other very much. We wanted to build a life together, a home full of laughter. But Esther didn't agree. She wanted her son to marry a girl from her own family, a girl she had known since she was little. I was a stranger from another village, and she saw me as a problem, a threat to their family's way of life. On our wedding day, Esther's dislike was as heavy as dust in the dry season. She sat with a hard face and didn't even look at me. After we were married, she made it her goal to make me unhappy. She started with small things. She said my food was bad. She checked my cleaning and showed me dust on her finger. "A lazy woman raises a lazy family," she would say for the neighbors to hear. I tried everything. I woke up before the sun to get water. My back hurt, but I wanted to do a good job. I learned her family's special recipes. But nothing I did was ever good enough. The harder I tried, the colder she became. I felt sick to my stomach, carrying the weight of her judgment every day. One evening, after she yelled at me about some burnt soup, I cried. David held me tight. "Why does she hate me?" I cried. "I haven't done anything wrong." David sighed. "It's not about you, my love," he said softly. "My father died when I was a boy. My mother had to raise us alone. She became very protective. She thinks she knows what is best for me. But knowing her pain didn't make mine hurt less. My heart was a war zone, and her words were like arrows that hit me every time." Years went by, and we were still like strangers living in the same house. The laughter I wanted in our home was often quiet because of the stress between us. I loved David, and I knew I had to find a way to make peace. I just didn't know how. The big change came on a rainy Tuesday. David was away for work. A strong storm came and trapped just Esther and me in the house. The rain beat hard on the roof, and the wind howled. The power went out, and the house became very dark. I found a candle and some matches. I felt scared to be alone with her in the dark. Just as I lit the candle, I heard a sound from Esther's room. A little gasp and a thud. My first thought was to just leave her alone. But something made me go to her room. Maybe it was the sound of her fear, a little crack in her hard shell. I went to her, the small candle light shaky in my hand. I found her on the floor. Her face was twisted in pain, and she was holding her chest. Her breathing was short and fast. My own anger disappeared. I knelt down and helped her sit up. "Mama, what is it? Are you okay?" I asked. My voice shaky with worry. She looked at me with wide eyes, surprised I was there. I quickly found her heart medicine. David had shown it to me a long time ago. I helped her take the pills. Her hand felt small and weak in mine. As the medicine worked, her face softened. A single tear rolled down her cheek. I am so sorry," she whispered. "I was so afraid you would leave me. Just like my husband left me. I was so lonely. David is all I have." In that moment, her hard shell broke. I saw a sad, lonely woman. She hadn't been protecting David from me, she had been protecting herself from being hurt again. My heart, which had been a war zone, was now filled with deep sadness for her. I saw her not as the woman who had made my life hard, but as a person who had carried a heavy weight of sadness and fear for many years. I sat with her until the storm was over, still holding her hand. We didn't talk much, but the silence between us was no longer a wall. It was a bridge. The next morning, Esther came into the kitchen. She didn't criticize my cooking. Instead, she took the spoon from my hand and said, "Let me show you how my mother made this." She didn't say it like a boss, but like a friend. We cooked together, and for the first time I felt like a daughter, not an enemy. The anger we had for each other went away. We started to laugh together and share stories. She began to see me as a person with my own dreams and fears, who loved her son just as much as she did. The war was over. The cold welcome became a warm hug. My mother-in-law became my friend, and our home, which was once full of stress, was finally full of the laughter I had always dreamed of. The real lesson was this: we often fight with others without knowing that we are both hurting inside. Kindness and understanding can fix even the biggest problems. Do you have a person in your life you feel like you're fighting a war with? How do you think a moment of being open and kind could change that relationship? Share your thoughts and stories below. And please like, share and subscribe.